Hi, everybody. Welcome to Habitat Now. I'm your host, Schey, and it is my honor to invite you to our first virtual tour. So everybody's done these over the pandemic. We've kind of held off from doing it because we're not professional videographers here at the gallery. And if you've ever shot a piece of glass yourself with your cell phone, you know how difficult it is. So recently we hired a new employee, Andrej Jakab, who is going to start developing more video content because we feel like the world's changing. People are buying artwork in different ways. And with his help, we're really going to push, into the future. So we quickly threw this together, and I'm honored to have you all tour this Summer of Glass exhibition with us live via we did a recording this week, but I'll be talking over it, and if you guys see anything, you can always pause it and talk about the works in there. So every room in the gallery, and this might not show up, it doesn't show up, every room in the gallery is named after a Greek god, and we did this because we kept describing the rooms in weird ways to people, and by just naming after Greek gods, it made it easier saying the bathrooms are in Poseidon, it just became a lot easier. So I referenced each room on top of each tour, and each room is its own video. And so we'll just meander around as if you were with me personally in the gallery talking about the works. And I might blab a little bit about each piece because I'm always excited about seeing these works. And if you're in the area or come see this stuff, it's all live and in person. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen and take over yours. Not press the end button, Aaron. And this is my little banner you guys all saw already for the show. And then upcoming in September, we're going to be celebrating the 50th anniversary of the gallery. So make sure to add that to your schedule and RSVP today. The events are coming together. It's going to be a lot of fun. An auction. Artists will be in from out of the country, hopefully, if everything goes to plan. The exhibition will be on display. We're doing a new raffle. It's a very important event. More recently, we signed up Richard Jolly to do our demonstration. We also have William Wormus coming in for the big dinner night on Saturday night, which will be in lieu of the party, where we interview Ferd about his history of the glass, and I'm sure there'll be lots of stories. It's kind of the event to be at. It's a lot of fun. Many of you have been to our internationals before. This is kind of a play on that in a way, and many of you are in this talk right now. They're in these photos. I see Janet right there. So secondary market, the vault is getting busier. We're getting some more works in the secondary market. We have some future opportunities for auction that we'll be talking about. And if you're looking to consign anything, I have a client recently who wants to put a bunch of their works in the vault to offer because they received them in an estate solution, and they're all jammed in her basement. I'm like, why would you want to put them in the basement? Let's put them in the vault. We'll come see them. So it's a great place to come experience secondary market work as well as work from our inventory. So the Habitat exhibition show is going to be a little bit different for international, where it's not as large, not as many artists are invited to come show work in the space. So we're actually partnering with the Glass Art Fair to put a bunch of work by artists that I can't make it in or can't send work in to put an exhibition online. So we did this last September, many of you remembered, and we're going to keep this art fair going and watch it grow organically. These Zooms will continue. I have other artists lined up. If you guys have any ideas too for these kind of Zooms, or you have any concepts you thought would be fun, run it by me. I'd love to talk more about them because I plan on continuing this, and I've done visits, we've done specials like this, and it's a great opportunity. Next weekend, I want you all to have a great 4th of July. I'll be taking that Saturday off, so relax that day, and I hope to see you the week after for our next Not Grandma's Glass, starring Petra Herbakova, who is Tomas Havlicka's daughter, and she's an amazing talent, and I'm looking forward to working with her in the future. Steve Lynn has an exhibition coming up at the Fort Wayne Museum of Art. Steve's here, Charles is here, and we're grateful for this exhibition. I know also Lachazar Boyajev will be having one there soon, so stay tuned and make sure you are aware of that too. We recently had an interview with Vaclav Ziegler, and I did a post on that. I'm still waiting for the transcript because some of it was hard to understand, so I can post the transcript up with subtitles on YouTube. That being said, they just sent me these really beautiful, interesting works in this, that he just finished like 2 days ago. It's amazing. He's still working in his 90s. I just want to share them with you because they kind of blew me away in the purity of the form, and they can be touched without distorting or ruining the glass on the outside. Sometimes when glass is pure, has texture like this, it has issues. But just something fun for you guys to see, I wanted to share and get in front of you. So without further ado, we're going to visit the gallery via the internet. I took this photo recently to send to Wilfred Grutens because they wanted to show him his solo show he kind of has in the center of our main room, which I'm learning the names again. This is Helios. It's light. And we'll jump into the first video here. There's no audio, so I'm going to be talking, just giving you a verbal talk about each piece we see. And I'm kind of watching these a lot for the first time myself too, so it should be a fun experience. There is no audio again, so welcome to Habitat Virtually. Many of you have been to the Habitat Galleries complex here in Royal Oak. Oh, who's that handsome guy there? Welcoming you to the gallery. So we're going to take a gander in, and many of you have been here and seen the space, but it's obviously set up for this beautiful summer of glass show. We'll take an overall look, and you'll see that we're learning as we go here with the videography. And luckily, Andrew's quite talented and will only improve from here. So mind our hot spots and mind our preliminary trial here. But many of you recognize the first artist, Raven Sky River from Seattle, worked with William Morris for many years, an amazing talent. I'm one of his biggest fans. If you see an artist creating animals, there's nobody better on the planet. And he's such a great guy too. And many of you guys have seen him demonstrate, make these giant turtles. They're just absolutely beautiful. In our small room, which is called Kratos, we have an exhibition of the work of David Hutchhausen. I think we just happen to have the most works by David Hutchhausen available in the gallery. And we have some works that are on display that are from our a silver show still. But it's quite a variety of David's work, and they are just absolute masterpieces. David's been in part of the International probably since it started, and still works to this day. And when he's not traveling, you follow him on Facebook, traveling around the world and visiting his girlfriend, I believe, in the Philippines. But an amazing, such beauties, and he's museum quality work. So we gave him a little bit of space in this video because he has his own room decorated. A few of the artists have solo shows in the gallery. We'll cover them as we get to them. And they're just incredible visual experiences. Some people have them spin, some people can keep them static, but just experiencing the work. I did see some of this work in a secondary market too, and I was gonna look to bid on some of it, then I realized the work was damaged. So I want to make sure that if you buy stuff on the secondary market, you make sure that the work is in good condition. So we'll continue around the room. Michael Behrens, many of you have seen his flat works on the wall, mostly his sculpture you've seen more of, but he sent us a couple flat work pieces. They're quite beautiful, have quite amazing texture to them. And it's just something that you don't really see here in the States. Heavily inspired, as many of you know, by his underwater experiences. He's got some life-changing events coming up in his life. I don't want to spoil it, but you can probably guess. He is an amazing talent. And then obviously, Davide Salvadori. Many of you have met him, seen him demonstrate. Master of Murano. Some beautiful instruments that we have. We have a good variety of these in the gallery too, available. Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful works. Davide is a great entertainer, and he is a master of the material. I've watched him physically dance in my life at the sofa show. They had parties afterwards. He's quite a dancer. And this is some of his plate work, flat work that we have on display right now. Big installation. And I have a client who wants 4 of these installed by their fireplace, 1, 2, 1, 2 around their fireplace, and Davide is working on that right now for me. As we span around the room, beautiful work by Richard Royal. A little variety. We have a few pieces in the gallery. Just took 3 of them out for the Summer of Glass show. This one being very colorful, and many of you know these works are blown or they're cast and then put together. I think they're put together cold. I could probably double check on that. They could be hot fused, but I'm pretty sure that at least this piece right here on the right is cast because it's very heavy. We're going to keep continuing and come view work in the middle of the room and look at Wilfred Gruten's solo exhibition. We have another exhibition planned for him later this year, along with a catalog and a talk and all kinds of fun stuff. He also has some new flat panel works. Have many of you seen those? They go on the wall and they're 4 layers, I believe, all hand painted. I have not seen one in person. I have sold one, but I have not seen one in person. So I'm looking forward to experiencing Wilfred Gruten's work live in person on this new body of work. But each of these are masterpieces. Many of you have these very impressive works, and Wilfred's developing new techniques every day. I spent a good amount of time on the phone with him about what he's working on next. Many of you saw this work at SOFA Chicago. It was a large, I think it's like a 144 inches wall installation. It's actually 4 pieces that mount on the wall with their own brackets that kind of overlap. And I guess we're scanning over to this one, a unique piece. And Michael's still working today, making some great new things in his studio. We've reached out to him recently for more inventory because we've had a lot of demand recently, and he's just an amazing talent. An orange abstract piece too. The math required to do this and the polishing skills just blows my mind. The patience required is incredible. Let's see where we go next. I'm guessing we're going to Matt Itsuki. So Matt was part of our Not Grandma's Glass exhibition this year, and we actually put these pieces in place right here for this show, but they actually were before because I did a talk on TV talking about glass in the Not Grandma's Glass show here locally in Detroit. And so we put these two pieces out because he was our February, I think, artist in that exhibition. I'm a big fan of Matt's Trash Glass series. They're very, very fun. All right, we're wrapping up this room and we got to the end of Cassandra Blackmore. And you'll see some of our hotspots slowly disappear as we get closer. Many of you are fans of her work, hand painted and then smashed with a hammer, and they fray out in one big energetic. You can watch videos on YouTube and see her doing this. It's quite impressive. And she's very in demand right now. We did a commission with her last year, and then she's like, I'm not doing commissions much anymore. Beautiful colors, beautiful tones. I'm glad that she's so busy right now. So they think this wraps up our first room. Thank you for, working with me and visiting me on the very first part of this presentation. We're going to skip to the next one now, if I can get this thing to work. Oopsie, I just closed out of it. I'll get it going again. There we go. Let's see if I can skip to the next slide. Let's go over here. Come on. This button. There we go. All right. So now we're in the next room, and I'm going to look it up. It is called Artemis. And this used to be our small object room. Now it's called Artemis. So we're zipping right into the room and see some work by Peter Botos from Hungary. An impressive artist. Get back in focus here. Well known in his country, and we're honored to have him in our exhibition this year. We look forward to working with him more. Beautiful, beautiful things. And then we have a solo exhibition here by Andrej Jakab, who we've started working with the last couple of years. Inspired by nature, pure in color, just absolutely gorgeous. Got some great editing there. You see that? That was nice. Yeah. Beautiful things. Just magical in appearance. And when we've done well with these works over the years, and they kind of speak for themselves. This one's much larger than the other ones. I was very surprised in how big it was. It's over 20 something inches, 24 inches, I think, maybe 22. It is just impressive in scale. We had a piece similar to this in purple that sold right away, and then they sent us one in blue. And I don't know how he makes these impressions in the glass, but they're just out of this world. And this one was very interesting as well, with this beautiful blue spot. Almost looks Egyptian. A true treasure. And as we passed by, we have a solo exhibition for Brent Kee Young. And Brent's work is never really easy on the camera because they're slightly yellow. But this is a massive treasure we have in the center of the room, in this room. Multiple pieces. This is a mountainscape that all fits together. I think it's 4 or 5 pieces. We're just kind of zipping around the room here, just showing different bodies of our pieces of work by the artist. And we had a show not too long ago at the Fort Museum of Art with Brent, and it was a great experience to see, and they had a great display there, and I know they have content for that on their website. And Brent's, he spent 40 years teaching at the Cleveland School of Art, and as of, I think, maybe 2013 or 14, he retired and has been a full-time artist ever since. And these things appear delicate, and they are like all glass is, but they're actually quite sturdy because they're built like structure. And part of the fun is when he builds these up, they actually have parts on them that are removed later. And that removal makes them look more delicate because there are parts that he actually takes away. And they're built pieces at a time with wood structure around them. And when they come to fruition and they're finally finished, he actually drives them in from Ohio himself. And we have shipped these all over the world and have had very little problems. And if anything happens, luckily it can be fixed with a blowtorch on a piece of borosilicate glass. So that's another great point of owning one of these. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Brent's work, and he's also a big fan of sushi. He comes to our gallery. We go out to sushi every now and then at a place down the road, not too far from here. That will wrap up this room. Hope you're liking our little logo for producing better pieces. Let's kick to the next one, and we'll jump in. Did this one already? Here we go. I think this is the next room. All right, this room is Apollo. So this was our office in the past. Mary Schaffer's work. Many of you know her, I hope. She's great. She's quite the personality. Been creating with glass forever. And these are very atypical forms for her. She has a brand new book out too that you should definitely check out and pick up. Talking about her career with a bunch of a variety of her images. As you scan around the room, Ivana Stromkova, these fun animal pieces. I'm a huge fan of her work. I know that somebody in the room has a pig by her that I'm a big fan of, that we did commission, and a big fan of her work. And now Emily Brock, these are real hot. We'll have to get close to kind of see them. Many of you are familiar with her work. We're hoping to do a show with her real soon. She has been taking it easy, going through some personal issues, but there's a variety of work coming to the market soon. I'm really excited to work with her and her daughter about, and you know, I'm a big fan of Emily. She's like a second mother to me. I've grown up with her. Zoltán Bolhas from Hungary has passed away. We have 3 of his pieces on display. Beautiful museum quality pieces. Very important. Him and his wife, Maria Lugosi, were like grandma and grandpa, founders of the glass world in Hungary. And then we can travel quickly to Australia, where we'll visit with Matthew Curtis and have a variety of his work. You've seen his work in the gallery. You've seen it at our art shows. We're big supporters of Matthew. And he's working now in Australia still, which is great, with his wife Harriet and family, and just wonderful pieces, beautiful, well lit in our gallery too. I'm glad Andrew could capture this because I could not with my phone. He's got some real equipment. You know how that goes. Yeah, that's great. Really shows you the cold working and the blown pieces in there. And this work is pretty fun. It's kind of hot, but if you touch it, it looks rough, but it's completely smooth. And it's vibrant red, mind you, the hot spot. Very, very impressive work by Matthew Curtis. And easy to handle, which is kind of nice too with some of the stuff at the gallery. So we've traveled through some rooms already. If you obviously have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm going to jump into the next one now. So we're going into a room. In this room already. Come on, robot. Let's continue on to this one. All right, so now we are in, I think, Apollo. So this room has an exhibition right here of Alex Bernstein's work. And many of you know Alex and his inspiration, his nature, and inventing his own technique called Bernsteining, where he basically grinds cold metal hot, and it flies off the grinder and lands on the glass and becomes embedded in the glass, which is pretty impressive. Something he invented. He has some new bodies of work out. They're inspired by birds, believe it or not, these big wing pieces. This is his cityscape piece, museum quality, a masterpiece. We're coming up on, oh yeah, it's just, many of you saw this in person. We had it at SoFa. I think we took it to Florida. Got to find a home for it. If you know anybody, let me know, because it definitely is an impressive work by Alex. This is one of my favorite Alex Bernstein pieces we have in the gallery. Circular, just overall beautiful. We had a client who wanted this, but it was too big. So it's 32 inches tall. So we had it commissioned at 24 inches for that client, something very similar. But the original is still available. Different tones, different colors. There's a room in everybody's home for at least, 5 Alex Bernsteins. He's great. We said I did an interview yesterday with him via Zoom, talking about his career and what he's been doing. We'll be putting that out later with a retrospective show and a catalog soon. Alex, if many of you know him, he's just an overall great guy. And him and his family just moved into a new studio and a new home. And this is a great opportunity to see his work virtually from your home. Hope you're enjoying this. This is something new. Vaclav Ziegler, we visited him recently. You saw some pictures at the beginning of the presentation, one of his uranium eggs, one of the most difficult colors to work with. If you look inside, you can kind of see frozen in time, these bubbles like space. It's a pure masterpiece by Ziegler. We also have some work in our vault. You're welcome to come see and check out anytime you're in our area. We'll save a different tour for that later. Littleton Vogel work. These are the rotating pieces. That piece rotates. It's called a gimbal. And I think we're going to visit Vladimir Klumpar last in this room. She's amazing. Worked with Lubinsky's for years. Her stuff is just top of the line, museum quality work. Her son, also an artist, both of them creating right now. They were creating through COVID, have a new studio going in the Czech Republic, and they're eager to create new things and get them in front of everybody who'd be interested. All right, that wraps up this room, and we'll go in. There's 2 more rooms left, and I appreciate your time, everybody. This room is called, I believe, Gaia, Poseidon. I'm losing them. Should say it on top. Gaia. Oh, we did Gaia already, so let's jump into Poseidon. See if I can get this thing to play. Here we go. This room has a big show dedicated to Michael Behrens, an artist from Germany. Many of you know. He stands about 6'1" and wears glasses. He used to work for Peter Bremmers for many years and has his own studio and creates these beautiful sea-inspired sculptures. You saw his flat plano works in the first room. These are a variety of his unique sculptures that he has kiln cast and then cold worked and polished to create these beautiful forms. It's amazing. Some artists work in like a variety of colors, some of them don't, and it seems like Michael has a really grasp on what colors work well together. Sometimes when colors hit each other, they don't work. His process, though, of rolling the clear glass into frit and then casting it probably helps, because maybe it works better that way. But everybody, he's one of our best sellers here at the gallery, and I think we're going to take a little tour of a variety of colors that he has to offer and forms. And yeah, we've done well with him, and we're expecting a few more works come in for the show in September. But scale is not an issue for our buddy Michael Bremmers, or Michael Behrens, sorry, because he just seems to have a grip on it and is able to make his own sculptures in his own studio. There's a variety of scales that he offers, and we did a Habatat-Zoom with him earlier this year, touring his facility and seeing it, how he actually does it. And we're honored to have Michael Behrens in our family. Some great shots here that Andrew took, giving you some real depth in the pieces. A while ago, we received some older work of his, and but it doesn't compare to what he's doing today and these works right here. They're just simply stunning. And we're giving our best, video presentation of the space, giving you a glimpse into each and every work. I leave it up to Rob here at the gallery to really pick and choose what works well together and how to design. And he's been here longer at the gallery than anybody else, Rob Ambro. And him and Dave Wallstead have been working for us forever, and they're a great part of our family and able to handle every single type of artist out there. An artist can master their own work and their own shipping, and Rob and Dave have to master everybody's, whether they come properly shipped or not. The secondary market, usually boxes don't even come with the pieces, so it becomes his experience to keep them safe, and more will be coming in. Well, we switch over to Martin Blank, some beautiful hands. Martin's a master sculptor of the human form. These are very, very large hands. Kick over to Susan Taylor Glasgow. She is part of the, I think she's part of a women's exhibition going right now, I believe. Yeah, she does. They did a Zoom on it recently. I love her work. She's such a great person, and she came and visited us during COVID. I had a chance to see her. We have a really fun limited coming out with a purse of her soon. Amber Cohen, she's definitely part of the show going right now, the Sandwich Museum. We have always have a little display of my buddy Paul Stankard, master paperweight maker, quite a talent. We also have the Belkin collection still, so we've been promoting that. as we can. People are coming in and checking it out and buying works. So if you ever have a need of a paperweight, there's no better place in the world to go look than the vault. And here at the gallery, I built a cabinet in my office to display more of them too. Let's see where we're going next. Oh, yeah, Martin Blank's abstract piece. Beautiful. Darker tones in some of his other works. Multiple pieces. We have work like this in red, but I've never seen one in black and gold before. And this one is quite stunning. This might wrap this room. Yep, it does. And we're getting through it, guys. I appreciate you hanging out with me. This is a lot of fun to do it this way. All right, and then our last room will be Zeus. We'll meander around the largest room in the gallery. So many of you not know this building used to be an air conditioning manufacturing company that Ferdinand Hampson, the founder of the gallery, bought in 2001. And we've been modifying it ever since, tweaking it, changing it. If you saw it then versus today, it would be absolutely blow your mind. But within 20 years of having the building, it's really turned out to be a spectacular space. Nick Mount work from Australia. He's extremely talented. Works are so refined. They kind of speak for themselves. Object-based, very literal, but almost not, inspired by nature. Michael Janis, many of you know him, one of the artists who work and manage the Washington Glass School. This is one of my favorite pieces in the gallery. I hope no one ever buys it. Just a big fan of this piece. I mean, I hope someone buys it, but I like to enjoy it as long as I can. They large scale. Each of those panels are 30 inches tall. So you're looking at 60 inches up and down. And these works are about people and life and about interaction and what people see versus what they don't see. Let's kick around here. Jack Schmidt from Ohio, legendary artist. Hope to schedule a Zoom with him very soon. I'm sure he has a lot to say because he's been around in this world for as long as Ferd, if not longer. There's a great picture of him online driving a motorcycle without a shirt on. I really think it's great. John Miller, key set. He's done these for years. He's done them specialized for people who have, let's say you have an amazing Porsche in your garage and you can have your own key with a Porsche logo made. This is a large set for what John brought in for our show virtually for our big, we did a masquerade show in September of last year. It's just an impressive scale, and that backwood piece can be painted any color. Another Jack Schmidt piece. Some of his work can go outside, some of them can't, depending on how it's made. I believe these single pieces can go outside when they're stacked together. Those are the ones that can't go outside because of, water getting stuck between expanding and contracting. But if they're solid pieces, usually they can. It's a peek into our back room back there. We're not going to go back there today, maybe in the future. Work by Peter Bremmers. We have 3 large scale pieces of a variety of colors out. I remember seeing this type of work the first time in Chicago, and I was blown away. Just absolutely incredible work. And Peter has just moved studios to a new, larger space. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he continues to create. But each work is a masterpiece. And if you've experienced Peter's work, experience any glass at all. This is life-changing, but Peter's is really the pinnacle of glass. Janice Miltenberger work. Big fan of hers, heavily inspired by nature. We have 2 pieces, I believe, in the gallery, one in our vault, one out here. And this is just a very fun nature-inspired piece. Lots of parts that add up to create the whole. And it's a beauty. All right, where are we going next? We are traveling around here. Katrina Weintraub, many of you know her work. She's been doing the bunnies lately. This is some of her hanging marionette work. Zora Polova from the Czech Republic. We have a good variety of her work, and I just got a whole bunch of more images from her of available things. Just incredible, always pushing the material beyond its limits and continuing to work today. And they should just be part of everybody's collection because her and her husband, Stefan, who work together, create such museum quality glass pieces that every museum needs one of them at least, because it really gives a quick lesson into the real form and power of glass. Such great sculpture, such great tones. Let's see where we're going next. This piece recently sold to the Fort Wayne Museum of Art. It's going to be on display there soon. We have it on display at the gallery. Tim Tate, Michael Janet's collaboration work, a masterpiece by far. Each piece has a small narrative that can be explored forever. Subtle colors. Each, you can kind of tell which pieces Tim was involved in, pieces that Michael was involved in, but it adds up. And what's great about this piece is it's I believe it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 panels that actually come off the wall and are easy for storage. And then you put them up with a I guess it would be some kind of bracket, French cleat, a single piece telling another narrative. A very fun work, and these do quite well. Don't mind our camera in the background. This is us learning. Lucy Lyons. Many of you know her work. We have 3 of her pieces out in the Summer Glass exhibition. This one, I believe, is I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. We've had it for a little bit, but Nightclub, I think it's called. People hanging around. Just a great experience piece. Just simply beautiful, great tones of color, red and oranges. She's been on a couple of these Zooms with us. This is one of the larger works she's ever made. It's about, let's say, maybe about 40 some inches tall. 2 pieces that actually work together. This is definitely another museum quality masterpiece. We have a lot of people who just love Lucy's work. We have people who rebuy and buy her stuff because they're just so impressive and so relatable. I see Andrew did some great footage on this piece. And then we have one more. This piece we had, I believe we might have had it for Chicago, but I don't think so. I think it's more recent than that. It's called The Reader. And Lucy sent me some documentation to read, but I can't open it without my computer freezing. So we'll just take some gander at it. It is another large work by Lucy Lyons from Santa Fe. Jenny Pullman and Sabrina Knowles, many of you know her work out of Seattle. I believe we're doing a tour out there, if I'm correct, which is already filled up completely, which is a great sign for the future. People going in October, I think, to the Seattle area to see some of the artists and artwork out there. And it filled up pretty quick, and now they're already planning for next year's trip, which I think is back to Europe, knock on wood. Immaculate things, very fun. I know that Sabrina and Jenny like to go to people's houses and fix them when they're set up wrong. And they have some wine and like to set up and fix things. It's always fun to have them over once you have it up. And then I think last is our Monte Clenosa exhibition. We have technically 4 works in the gallery, 3 on display. These poodles are incredible. We had a Zoom with her visiting earlier this year. These are so fun, beautiful works. The red one just sold, so we'll be sending that one to New York soon to arrive to its home. But these are usually very hard to get. She's always so busy making works. I know the Flint Museum of Art has one. They have a fox, and it's rare to see an available piece. So we commissioned her to make these, and this one was on the secondary market, this red one we had, and that one just found a home. And it's fun to see her work because they are inspired by paintings in the past. And she finds a small animal or dog in the painting and then paints the dog. And you can get the original cover of the painting, and the dog's like tiny, this big in the whole painting, but that's really inspired her. So I think that wraps up our little tour. And I want to thank you all for joining me today. It's a little bit short, but it's our first time doing something like this, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I hope we'll be continuing efforts like this to show the gallery from outside. And should you see anything that catches your eye, you're more than welcome to contact me anytime. And I'm looking forward to doing this again with the AACG. We're going to be visiting the show for the 50 years about a week early with a couple of people that are going to be walking around. Hopefully, if everything goes planned. But it really will be an interesting way of exposing what we're doing. And as I work with Andrew, we're going to figure out a way to make these more accessible to the public. So they'll, whatever the format is for people to use YouTube or whatever to really get a glimpse on what we do, will catch the eye to get them to come and join us in our world. But that really wraps it up. I know I get some requests from people who want to do a video tour of the vault. I appreciate that, Hal, Myra. And we'll do something like that for sure. We'll also do the back room in the future. We'll keep playing around. We also want to do some other content videos that make that will be relevant to getting the word out for, you know, art in general for younger people, why they should like glass, very 101 type things that seems to be needed for younger people to get interested in what we all, you know, care about and love. So, but thank you guys for joining me today. I wanted to wish you a happy weekend, and then a happy 4th of July weekend, which is coming up real soon. Yeah.
I don't know if you mentioned it, but how long will this show be on display?
So it'll be display for about a month.
Okay.
So if you guys want to come in and see it, I mean, you're more than welcome to. It's going to be up. We're going to start tweaking it around as we get closer to the 50th and things start to arrive. But there's always something to see. And then when you are here, we'll take you over to the vault. You get to see that backspace as we're slowly getting that place in order, which is an amazing space to see beyond the gallery. And then I guess sky's the limit, you know, with this new virtual world as we develop, you know, different ways of reaching the public. But thank you all again for joining me. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, or you're welcome to sign off, or you're welcome to write me a note anytime or an email, and I'm always here. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much.
Aaron, thank you so much. That was wonderful.
I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any feedback on that, let me know too, because it's our first time doing it. All right, guys. Be well.
Thank you, Aaron. Amazing work. Wow.
Thanks, guys.
That was fun.
It was something different. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Thanks, Aaron.
You're most welcome, guys. Have a great day.